Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Yes, me.
We've been on a real gruesome twosome kick here.
Nobody wants to talk with us.
That's not true. Ethan's been really busy with a lot of his stuff, but I want to get him back on the show. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like,
It's been too long.
it's been too long since he's been on the show.
The third Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, right. Is no more. Well, is not with us right now.
No, we didn't kill him.
Is no more.
That they know of.
I kicked him off. No kidding.
Ian, what's your favorite game?
The one where battle's involved.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Battle game?
Battle games. I like fight games.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Fight games are pretty cool.
Some would call them war games.
Oh.
I think.
Don't you know?
I said the name.
War games. You'll never guess what we watched for the fucking podcast.
We watched War Games.
Yeah.
Man, what a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even just from like the first little intro sequence, I was like, man, this is like an 80s flick. And I felt it all the way through.
That old school suburbia feel.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I never lived in the 80s. I only lived in like the mid to late 90s. And it feels like just watching this feels like such a different time.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We also watched, probably many moons ago, we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is another Matthew Broderick flick. And like I want to say this has, it's not the same, but it has kind of that feel to it because it,
close.
I want to say they came out 3 years apart from each other.
Damn.
War Games was 83, and I'm pretty sure Ferris Bueller was 86.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So very, very much in the same ballpark.
That's funny.
Yeah. Before we went headlong into the introduction of this episode, I was going to say that next episode we're going to have a guest. So I know I'm sitting here lamenting on not having a third person.
Right.
But the very next episode we'll have our returning friend Dominic on the show. So
one of these days.
One of these days. So tune in next week for that. That'll be fun. But anyways,
how'd you like the movie?
How'd you like the movie, eh?
Yeah.
I liked it. I the intro sequence really set up to. It felt like an 80s action flick. And it was really suspenseful. Yeah. It even like left on like what felt like a cliffhanger of like one of this 2-man team potentially threatening to kill his companion.
Shit's wild.
Yeah. Basically, to summarize, there's this computer.
Right. They're weighing the pros and cons of having this computer system replace these 2-man teams that are in control of the missile silo launch systems.
Right.
In case a nuclear war should ever arise, which, I mean, what are the fucking odds?
Right. When was the Cold War? Was that during this time period?
No. That
was earlier than that.
I believe so, yeah. But, this definitely falls in line with that type of scenario.
Right, it felt like that.
Yeah. Which is so fucking silly looking back on it.
I mean.
Like, I get, that thing's a little too close. Maybe you should move it. It's like, what if we don't want to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if? We got some of those things too,
You gonna just tiptoe on my turf like that?
Right. Oh, man.
It feels like whenever I used to play Civ 5, and like if you had just one too many troops on your border.
What's going on there, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. And it was like sometimes it's like maybe I just want to fortify my border a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to have my guys.
I'm sorry. Am I stepping over the line?
No, I didn't.
No, you're just a little too close.
But they always wanted to talk to me and go, I don't like you making me feel a little uncomfortable gathering all your troops along my border. I'm like,
AI's greedy in that game.
It is my border too, and I want to make sure it's secured from your.
Right.
Little,
can we be neighbors? Can we act like neighbors, please? I don't want to wave at you with my gun, but
I don't want any of your people sneaking over to my side. Okay, this is my playground.
Yeah.
But anyways, the game I say game. The name of this film is what trips me up.
We'll get there.
The start. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to spoil. I'm getting ahead of myself. Before the games are played, there is like this really cool sequence of like what looks like a sandstorm or like some sort of just like weather storm or whatever.
I'm thinking some sort of snow.
Yeah, or something like that. They end up like entering in this house. Like it's kind of like feels a little abandoned or emptied or whatever. Two guys come walking in. They're like, oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy out there. How about that weather?
Exactly.
Holy shit.
They hold up their identification cards to like this mirror.
Yeah.
And the camera's like slowly like from our perspective, it looks like it kind of phases through the wall, but you slowly kind of phase through to the other side. And when you do,
when you finally break on through.
Yeah, right. You finally break to the what I would consider the mirrorverse. No, I'm kidding. you get on the other side of the mirror. And it's a two-way mirror. Right. And there's a bunch of guys behind computers, and they're like, "All right, you're clear to come in." And then of course they open up a pantry door into or whatever.
A super advanced, crisp, clean, looking for cereal.
This is so green.
Right. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, but it is like it's a nuclear facility, and they walk inside there, and of course they're like bantering with their other colleagues, quote unquote. Yeah.
It's like trading shifts.
Yeah, exactly, and they're locking in, and unbeknownst to them,
they're about to be tested.
But they didn't know. Well, and again, the movie makes it feel like it's an actual threat, where it's like, prepare for start the sequence. We're preparing to launch that nuke right now. Right. And so for them, it's like, okay, they're like going through all the steps, doing all the things, punching in the codes, getting all the stuff ready, holding the key. It's set. And the captain, which I guess is probably the superior officer in that little duo team, he hesitates.
Yeah, he can't do it.
He takes his hand off the key and is like, get these people on the line.
Right. I want somebody on the phone before I kill 20 million people.
Yeah. And then of course the other guy, I guess his subordinate's like, that's
we
not part of protocol. Yeah.
Turn your key.
Yeah, right. That's not part of protocol.
And he's got the gun pulled out.
And then there's a point where he's like, you're breaking protocol. Put your hand on the key.
And he starts spacing out. He just keeps apologizing.
He just sits there and he's like, before you know it, the subordinate like turns around with that deadpan look, pulls a revolver, and it says, that's not part of procedure.
Right.
Put your hand on the key. And it's like, oh shit. And then they get hard cuts and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And of course it's like it's a boardroom with a general there. And he's like, why can't my men pull the trigger?
Right.
He's like, they just can't.
Right. Some people ain't up to it, bro.
Exactly.
They can't live with that stuff.
Did they know it was a test? And they're like, no, they had no idea it was a test. And he's like, well, I need them to pull the trigger when I tell them to pull the trigger.
Right.
So again, there's like this. That's like the stakes in this film so far. Is like now, in comes the computer guy,
right? McCritic,
the computer stash.
McKittrick, excuse me.
And he's like, "What if we like remove the human element?"
Right.
And everyone's like, "What do you mean? You're talking out of line."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, hear me out. I have this computer.
His name is Joshua."
No, his name is Whopper. I don't think the joke is that funny, but I chuckled at it because it tickled me. Like he walked into the computer, he's like, "There's the Whopper," and that smaller thing on the wall is the Whopper Junior. and it's what is it called? War Operation. What is it? I remember the rest of it. Procedure something.
I don't remember either.
Okay. He sat there, looked at me with those eyes like, huh? You almost got it. And he tricked me. Yeah. He didn't know the whole time. Let's see. Let me pull it up. It is an acronym.
You're right.
WOPR.
Mm-hmm.
And it says War Operation Plan Response.
Yeah.
And basically they, in so many words, they kind of convince the higher ups to, I guess, link up the Whopper to I guess the security system, I guess the nuclear
launch
defense,
facilities.
the launch facilities.
Yeah. So it will have access to these.
Which
these
doesn't
missiles.
sound smart.
No.
It sounds so.
It only is able to launch them once everybody else is in agreement.
Right, which again,
As long as it receives that order, it's just gonna do it.
Right.
No hesitation whatsoever.
But I think it's supposed to run simulations of war games.
Yeah, it's like an echo chamber of sorts of different scenarios.
And it's supposed to play out like the best cause. It'd be like a bit of an advisor. And
I think the Magi from
from
Nerve.
Except a little bit more dumbed down.
Right. Basic.
But yeah. It's kind of a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
Right.
And at this point in time in the movie, like the title card has showed up, and I remember you talking about having the film WarGames, and never having heard of it.
I still can't get over that. I thought you had at least like heard about it before and like knew what it was about.
No, like I have no recollection of this film. If anyone's ever talked to me, it has slipped through my thoughts.
In one ear, out the other.
Right. Like for instance, to keep it in the Matthew Broderick film verse, I had never, before this show, when we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I had never watched it, but I had heard of it.
Right.
Because it was like popular enough and people said the name.
Oh, yeah.
And like there was even like pop culture references where they're like, oh, he's singing in the streets of New York and he's on a car. And it's like, whoa. Like that kind of, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Right.
It's that kind of stuff. Whereas this one, like, I really don't think I've, the one thing I can guess that this film did was like really popularize the idea of like, we're going to DEFCON 1.
Right.
Yeah.
The DEFCONs.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying that like I didn't know what this movie was about. So the title card happens. It says WarGames, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna see like a 80s action flick, I guess, or whatever. Right. And like at this point in time, when like they integrate Whopper and everything's like that whole intro cinematic has finished up, like
the system at NORAD is established.
Right.
And
Boom.
the turmoil within.
And right. Boom. Hard cut. Galaga. Matthew Broderick. And I'm like, wait, what? So is this like a comedy, or is this like a serious movie? Like, didn't know what was going to happen for a second. And he's like, he's playing his games or whatever. And he's one of those like stereotypical cool 80s cool nerd kid.
Oh yeah.
Where
a
he
geek,
like a geek, if you will. A loser type of geek.
Yeah. And a slut.
And so like he obviously is like kind of quirky, but he's also like mostly put together and kind of a geek where he has like all his computer stuff.
Yeah.
He's good at Galaga. Late to class and aloof.
Pre-qualifications for geek.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Good at Galaga.
Good at Galaga. That means that Dominic would definitely fit that. I've never actually seen someone like play. I've seen someone play Pac-Man really well and like get a crazy high score. I jokingly hooked up Galaga in the living room one afternoon while we were hanging out. Mm-hmm. Dominic crushed that game, and I was like, "Damn, bro,
dude's a geek, bro.
He's a geek." Yeah. Well, you'll get to talk to him next week, and we'll
expose him.
Yeah, we'll expose him for his Galaga ways. But anyways, like I said, he's like that kind of stereotypical 80s cool geek,
right?
Where it's like I can play video games, but like I'm kind of aloof in school, but I can like hack into the school.
I got a sense of humor, and I'm not awkward around
people. Right. But I get all the lingo, which I mean, funny enough, I'm coming across as mocking that character type. But
he found a sweet spot.
But no, but what I'm saying is like, but I have identified as that for a majority of stuff. Where I'm like, I'm kind of aloof sometimes, and I'm kind of like like chill and lay back, which people have told me numerous times.
Right.
But I would like to think that I know enough about like computer stuff that once upon a time like I could like hold my own in a conversation. But I was like, but I'm also like, I'm kind of cool, guys. You know, whatever. I'm almost like a musician. So it was like that kind of. I had
definitely went all in the audio department.
Right. I definitely was like, I could wear a leather jacket, and everyone was like, oh yeah, he's like a geek, but like he's kind of cool though.
Look at that jacket.
Look at that jacket though.
I'm getting mixed messages here. Yeah. I don't know what to make of him.
I'm drawn to him because I want to be his friend, but he's a little weird.
Oh man.
So, anyways, like I said, I'm coming across as like
dude was able to pull a fucking soon-to-be aerobics chick with leg warmers.
Bruh,
leg warmers.
I'm telling you, dude. Whenever I was like, hey,
absolutely bonkers.
You know what? It was the 80s. It really feels like a simpler time.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen at that point in time.
Jeez,
it felt like it. The fact that the fact that he. Like she like pulls up on this like motorbike thing. It's like
she's just like, want to ride? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it feels like it feels like a bicycle with an engine on it.
Right.
It feels really thin and kind of like
it's one of the motorized scooter,
a motorized bicycle.
A moped.
But she's like, let me give you a ride home, and he's like, okay, cool. And they hop on the back, and they're like all flirting as they're like driving to his house, and he's like, my parents work. Just come on inside. And I'm like, the thing is like, this is where it's like, I don't.
Anything really could happen back
then.
Right.
Like, you're right. They could just like hang out in his bedroom for a while, and it's like, it's just a normal thing.
I'm probably just blowing this out of proportion. That probably still wouldn't happen back then.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I don't know. But anyways, so like they start to like develop this friendship or whatever, and he hacks into the school's mainframe and is able to change their
grades
and hers a little bit.
The system,
kind of a little wink. I'm throwing you a little bone,
right?
And then he's like looking at this magazine or this catalog or something.
And he sees an ad.
It's all black.
Yeah,
white letters.
You don't have to wait till Christmas. Jump into the future of games with the new Protovision.
And it's like, hell yeah. He like looks at it and goes,
give me that.
And it's like a centerfold.
Yeah.
Which I know is gonna sound
a full page spread.
It sounds scandalous, but once upon a time there was this thing called a centerfold. And like it was a prime time advertising spot where like you would actually like open the catalog and like the page would like fold out and it was like an extended ad.
And there it would be.
Protovision. So like he folds it back in, closes it, and then like takes his food to his room, and he's like, now I gotta get in.
Right. I have you now.
I have you now. Yeah. Oh man, obligatory Star Wars reference for it being 10 years past the release of Star Wars. Yeah. Well, not even.
Came out in the 70s, huh?
77, 8, 9.
Oh yeah, if this was 83, then definitely.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is.
But wait, wasn't I Have You Now?
No, that was A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was like I thought it was in Empire Strikes Back.
No, that's when Vader's gaining on Luke in the trench.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. I thought that was later. It's been a while since I've watched the originals.
Yeah.
But at that point, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Day 358 of needing to rewatch the Star Wars movies.
Right. So then he has some sort of method to like he calls up an operator, which again is hilarious that like they don't have operators anymore.
Yeah.
And like he was able to get like all the phone or like the area code for like the surrounding areas.
He's able to just start sweeping through the numbers.
He just like calls all the phone numbers, and it's like, okay, hey, like it's like the epitome of brute forcing your way into something.
Right. I just love that crazy like blocky ass setup he's got.
Oh yeah.
In his room. And
I love how like this is also pre like the small floppy disks, like the ones that can fit in your hand.
Yeah, we got the big ones.
We got the big floppy disks, and like so every time he like goes to do something, he's like flipping through like what looks like a
filing cabinet,
like a record bin.
Yeah,
pulls out like a very small one of those like little 35
like,
mil.
hey, what album is that?
Yeah. 35 mil records,
Jesus.
and it's like pops it in this disc tray and closes it.
Oh, this is hacking 101.
Yeah. This is just my. Actually,
Right, dude, fucking nerd glasses emoji.
Yeah. That's it.
Jesus.
This is a Galaga, actually.
On floppy.
Yeah, on floppy.
Jesus.
Bro, I got that shit on floppy. If you catch my drift.
Man.
Anyways, so he ends up like calling up all these numbers, and of course, like I think it's the next day or the next afternoon or whatever, and
he
like
snags something.
Well, I mean, I think his like lady friend like just decides to come back around.
Right, it's like, hey, so you know how I asked you not to change my grade?
Could you actually?
Could you do it anyway?
Because like whenever he originally brought her over, he did it to his own grade, gave himself a C, and I was like, hey, respectable.
Right.
Don't
don't make it too obvious.
Don't make it too obvious. Make it at least
not
conceivable.
Right.
Yeah.
Inconspicuous.
If you applied yourself, you could have gotten a C.
Right.
You know that. But anyways, but whenever he changed hers to a C, she was like, "Oh no, I actually don't feel comfortable about this. Change it back." And he's like, "Oh, come on, it's not that big." And she's like, "No, dude,
no one's gonna know."
Seriously,
it's like, no.
All right.
Don't
So he changes it back to an F. She walks out the door. He goes, "All right."
Gives her an A.
Boom, A. And it's like, wow, okay, way to step up the game, dude. Okay,
Right.
I see how it
Jeez.
is. So anyways, so he ends up like, I'm gonna say the word lured her back to his house, but it kind of feels like, it's like that way of saying, instead of playing all your cards at the arcade,
right.
Whenever she's like, "Could you change my grade back?" He's like, "It's gonna be kind of hard, but
right.
I mean,
might have changed the password. I don't know.
And she's like, "No, it's fine. Like, let's just go and do it."
Can we try?
All right, that's fine. Let's do it. They both get back to the house, and she's like, "Okay, let's just do it." And he's like, "Well, actually,
I already did.
Already did. So you want to just hang out?"
Right.
I kind of tricked you into being here.
Right.
So I was like, okay, slick.
Right.
Slick. I can't say that I have not done something similar to that where I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, well, anyways. So then he ends up like showing her what he's actually working on, which again is like calling all these phone numbers. He like gets the phone number to a bank, and it's like kind of sus because he's like, gotta hold on to that for later. And I was like,
right, might be useful in the future.
You're just a full on criminal now.
Yeah. The beginnings of a story.
The beginnings. And like I love how during this sequence, at no point does he actually get Protovision.
Right.
But he does access something very secretive.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to him, it was the Whopper.
Yeah.
Not the Junior, the full-size Whopper.
Oh, yeah. Quarter pounder.
The quarter pounder. And lo and behold, he accesses the Big Mac.
Yeah.
But anyways, he can't access any of the stuff, so he goes.
So he tries the different help commands,
right?
One of which being games, because of course he's hoping to find some games to
play.
And it gives him the full list. We start out with like chess, checkers, poker,
some sort of Falcon's Maze,
right? And as we get further down, it gets into
like desert warfare, guerrilla tactics,
ground to ground assault teams.
What is the one that was like? Full scale tactical whatever it was.
Global thermonuclear war.
Right, but there's another one before that was something along the lines of like full tactical whatever it is anyways.
Yeah.
But the last one is global thermonuclear warfare, and it's like, "Ooh, buddy, wow."
So he's like, you gotta find out what this is. So
let me go ahead and get the last and biggest one on the list.
Yeah. He gets a printout of this, and he brings it to a couple of buddies that he knows on the inside.
One being Mandark.
Yeah.
From Dexter's Laboratory.
Jim and Manville, dude.
Yeah.
These fuckers are like the perfect dynamic duo.
Dude, there's like the one guy, the guy who I'm almost certain voices Mandark in Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah.
He's like the very obvious like social cues are not a thing. Mega nerd.
Yeah.
And then there's the other guy who's like a little weird, but like he's
kind of twitchy.
Yeah, I love the duo.
Yeah.
You remember how I told you whenever you're kind of acting a bit rude and insensitive?
Yeah, you're doing that.
You're doing that now. Okay. And he's like, huh?
Yeah.
I love
Nuts,
it.
Man.
It's great stuff.
Mm-hmm. So he gets that, and of course Jim, not one to let on that he's not high and mighty hacker, just lets David in on the little backdoor secret.
I think it's also any kind of person, I feel like, that has fun working with technological stuff, or even just like problem solving, troubleshooting, that kind of stuff. I don't love it all the time, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Because I've done it like as a career thing for a majority of my life, of like looking at a technological problem and going, how do I like troubleshoot this problem to get it to work?
Right.
And it feels kind of like a puzzle to me, which I think is why I think I'm probably better at it, because I feel like it's kind of more of a game to get it to work.
Yeah. It's easier to think of it that way.
Right. And so that feels, what was the lead character's his name? Jim? No, that's
David.
David
Lightman.
Lightman.
Yeah.
David feels kind of like that, where it's like, I think he wants to play the game, obviously, but I think it's more so he wants to conquer this challenge of I don't want to get in.
Mm-hmm. Protovision's calling my name.
Protovision. But then, like you were saying, his buddy was like, well, I mean, whenever I set up code or whatever, I have a back door. It's like I can just bypass all the security stuff and just get in.
Right. A password made at the beginning of creation of that system.
Right. And so he's like, there's got to be one somewhere. And they're like, oh, what do I do it? And the
Manville is like, it's like, you guys are so dumb.
I've already figured this out.
Did it all by myself. And
start at the beginning.
Right.
Go
through Falcon's maze.
Go through Falcon's maze.
Yeah.
Boom. Hard cut library. And he's like,
immediate research.
Oh, yeah. And this kid is going deep. And that's when I'm like,
he's playing Brain Age.
Right. This is when I was like, this guy is trying to crack this puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to play the game. I think this is the game.
Right.
Is him trying to get in.
The preliminary.
This boy who has very obviously has a whole tech setup in his bedroom to hack into through phone lines. I'm like,
a reservation for airline tickets to Paris.
Just cuz.
Right.
Yeah. So anyways, he goes and does some research. He able to figure it all out, and he starts this game, global thermonuclear warfare, with his little side piece, his little her
partner in crime.
Her name is Jennifer.
Yeah.
And so they end up, like I said, playing, like you said, they play around, they get some reservations to plane tickets or whatever, and they hack their way into stuff or whatever.
Right.
But then they pull up the full scale map of the world.
Yeah. As part of the Bopper system.
Right.
Just that little game subroutine that Joshua has. Now, the caveat to this is that with the Bopper being hooked up to NORAD's computer systems,
right?
He's
inputting commands directly to the mainframe computer.
Right. So any display that shows up on his screen is going to pop up on theirs as well.
Yeah.
So immediately they're freaking the fuck out because David has decided to launch, quote unquote,
he is also
nukes at Los Angeles and Seattle.
No, it was Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Both.
Yeah.
Or
both of them lost places.
Yeah, both are lost places.
Because they're lost on the list of places I want to go.
Oh, damn. I love how they're also it gives statistics and it's survival rates.
Here's the projected death rate.
69% death. And I was like,
Jesus
nice.
Christ.
There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on. But the funny thing is he just David just picks all the worst things.
Right. He's just having fun with it.
Who do you want to play as? Oh, the Russians.
Yeah, it's
oh.
No.
Where do you want to fire these nukes on? Las Vegas and our hometown.
Yeah, who cares?
Bro, what?
Nobody lives there.
Oh, okay. That's not scary.
Nah. Just a game, it's fine.
Right. A little while later, they end up finding out from
everybody's flipping their lids over at NORAD, what the fuck is happening?
The general's like, what the frick is happening?
Yeah.
They end up finding out it was like a false alarm there and stuff, but like
Right.
the it's already hit headline news at least a little bit. So like in the afternoon the next day,
After David's showing him his faked report card,
bruh, and he's
receiving
like,
congratulations
everyone's
from
like,
his parents.
his parents like, oh, I did such a great
so
job.
proud of you.
Oh, this is gonna be a nice one to sign.
And as his dad's talking to him, he sees the news report and he just fucking
He's just sweating. He's
like
like
the fucking dolly zoom from Jaws,
Yeah.
dude. And holy shit.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah. So he immediately just goes up to his room.
Receives a phone call from Jennifer, and she's like, are you watching the news?
It's like, yeah, I'm fucking screwed.
just don't panic. Just don't freak out.
Right. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
This stays between us. Just act natural.
And I can tell like Jennifer's like really kind of into him and like his kind of
Right.
cool geeky way or whatever.
Yeah.
Because she's like, this is actually kind of cool.
Right.
Mind if I
Mind if I tell my friends? Like, no.
She's like, oh, okay, I won't. But
Jesus.
all right,
Yeah.
we almost killed people.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, they he starts getting rid of all of his
and of course,
his
like
fucking
we said,
paper trail.
bruh, he has researched for probably the better part of a week on Dr. Falcon, the guy who created Whopper,
Yeah.
which he thinks is still proto-vision.
Right. Had no idea up to this point. Now he's like, oh, this is just a full-on military system I hacked into.
Well,
I should probably be expecting a visit from the FBI.
Yeah.
Maybe the CIA.
and then of course the computer calls him back,
Yeah.
which
It's
like does
hey,
another.
bro, we didn't finish our game. What's up? It's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not the doctor. He's
Yeah.
dead. Bye.
Mhm.
He just ends it there, and he's like,
He gets like 2 different phone calls, and then of course like he just unplugs the phone,
Right.
and then just like
Disconnects
holds it against his
his
chest, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
I'm gonna go to jail.
Because that ping onto his phone again, obviously
yeah.
it shows up.
They weren't able to trace him the first time.
Oh, yeah, but
as
the
soon
second
as
time?
Joshua got back to him, I was like, we got him.
We got him.
They were on their way from that point.
I'm pretty sure whenever he first gets in, when he first like logs in somewhere, he does the obligatory "I'm in," and I was like, "Hell yeah!"
I wouldn't doubt it.
I love it.
You have to. It's tradition.
Oh yeah. Anytime I log into any account ever, I say that.
Yeah.
Not really, but
I'm in.
I log into just my Gmail.
As gravelly as possible.
Yeah. I just go to Gmail, just log in, just to go, I'm in.
Now, do you scale that back depending on what it is? Like if it's actually something you had to work to get into, or is it just like, say it's your email, you're just like, hey, I'm in.
Oh yeah, I'm in. There's a game that requires 2-factor authentication. The second I put in both forms of authentication, I
There
go,
you go.
I'm in.
Yep. You talking about SWOTOR?
That one is one of
I
them.
love that.
But there's like I think there's something else there that requires like a I think it's like my YouTube account or something or whatever.
The engraving on the key that you keep for your computer.
Right.
In order to activate it.
I think that YouTube requires me to put in my password, and then on my phone that is connected to the account, it'll send me a notification saying, "Hey, are you trying to log in? Yes or no?" And then I click yes, and then it will finally be in. And every time I do
hey,
that,
just to be sure, is this you?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
yes.
feel like a real hacker whenever I'm accessing it on my phone and I click yes.
The only time I ever felt like a hacker was
Hmm.
whenever I got that Sega Saturn emulator set up on my
Oh
computer.
yeah,
And I finally got to play Panzer Dragoon Saga,
oh my
dude.
God, I forgot
Holy
about
shit.
that. Wow,
That was the best. I was so excited.
that really did feel surreal.
A fucking work of miracles.
I was so lost when you were playing that game because I don't
Yeah,
think I was
dude.
like fully paying attention to some of it, and I was like, "Bro, what is happening?"
Oh, man.
It felt like a Metal Gear with all the cutscenes
yeah.
a little bit, where I was like, "There's a lot of
Yeah,
exposition here.
it was, yeah.
Very
I'd
lengthy."
say it's up there. Man.
I just imagine you just logging into something. I'm in. I just
Funny
gotta get
stuff.
real, yeah. But Anyways,
I end up losing my voice if I do it too often.
the movie continues, and it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I love the actor. His name is Barry Corbin, and he played he played General Jack Barringer.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you want to talk about some funny? I wouldn't be surprised if they let him ad lib some of his sections. Because there's one time where
That's
he
what it
says,
feels like.
there's one time where he's like, they're talking about trying to shut down at the end of the movie, they start talking about shutting down the mainframe of Whopper and all that stuff that's going on. He's like, well, goddamn, I would piss on a spark plug if I thought it would work.
Yeah.
And I was like, bruh.
He's amazing.
He has like what was it at the beginning of the film? What did he say? That was like such like a cowboy.
You're darn tootin'.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, he's like, well, you darn tootin', I didn't. And I was like, oh shit.
Is established. That's who this guy is for the
just
rest of the
just
movie.
also just to put it in perspective, I think he's a 4-star general. He's got the whole decorated everything, but he also carries like a pouch of chewing tobacco that he like is every now and then like stuffing into his lip. And he's like, well,
all he needs is a portable spittoon.
Yeah. So anyway, it's fun.
Yeah,
he's a fun character.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the movie progresses on.
Mr. David gets a visit from the FBI.
Oh yeah, they track him down so easy.
Mm-hmm. As I'm sure he would have guessed by now. He's just waiting.
Yeah.
Counting down the minutes.
Right. He apparently just has like popcorn.
Yeah.
Or something.
Just
he's like
made a stop
around.
at the 7-Eleven and they corner him.
Yeah.
Just shove him in a van and take him away.
Right.
To NORAD.
It's 1983. They can just do that. It's fine.
Right. Public kidnappings.
Right. We already
What
contacted your family.
What
What an age, yeah.
They know.
Right.
We have your parents' permission to kidnap you, sir. This isn't illegal.
So this isn't weird at all. Well, weird if you make it weird.
Oh, Jesus.
They end up like locking him up and stuff and like trying to interrogate him, but he's like, I'm sorry, I'm innocent. I didn't really do anything. And they're all like, yeah.
Right.
Because again, of all the other activity, like he had plane tickets and
right. They believe him up to the point where he says the computer contacted him.
Right.
That's what they're stuck on.
Right. They're like, because our computer shouldn't do that. And he's like, well, it did multiple times, actually. Wouldn't leave me alone.
About them apples, eh?
Right. And in a wicked turn of events, everyone's trying to like figure out what's happening with the quote unquote nukes preparing to launch.
Right. He's able to sneak out of the room he's being held in.
Yeah.
This fucking security guard who keeps flirting with the
receptionist or whatever.
Yeah. Like just nonstop. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But while he's distracted or currently fumbling the bag,
yeah,
David is able to make his escape through vents.
Right.
Good old vents.
In a good Deus Ex Machina moment. There's like a class of like, I guess like high school or college kids or whatever. Tourists.
And as they're walking out, he's able to sneak right up behind them.
At this like nuclear operations facility.
Right.
They're just like, yeah, we're just like touring this place.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm pretty sure
One of
that's
the major
classified.
military control centers that
Don't
has
mind
tours.
us.
And I'm sure it's only for like qualified personnel who just want to get a look at the stuff. But
yeah,
even still, that's it's a
it's
bit
a far
much.
stretch.
Yeah.
But he ends up escaping and
Hitches a couple rides.
right.
Is able to make it to a telephone booth.
And hotwires the telephone booth to work, which I'm
Goodness.
like, again, what a simpler time where you can just like break something open and make it work.
I still don't think I've ever seen one of those things.
A phone booth?
Yeah.
I have. Did I use it? No.
Nah.
Gross as hell.
Ancient tech. Beguiled by the ages.
Oh, God.
But yeah, he's able to get in contact with Jennifer. For some reason, she's the first person he goes to.
You want to know the last place I probably saw a functioning phone booth?
Where?
It was once upon a time whenever Ben and I were traveling to Tennessee and we took a train. We took a big old Amtrak train.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I saw an operational phone booth outside. It was like a phone station, like just inside or outside the train station.
Right.
Talk about just old feeling. It was like,
Wow.
I was like, this is crazy. This is like
cool.
this is a functioning phone that I can put quarters in
Yeah.
with a phone book here that I can call somebody.
And it'll work.
And I'm outside of a passenger train station where they're like, all aboard, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what in the world?
I've time traveled.
I have time traveled.
I'm a time traveler. That's the only explanation.
Hold up now, wait for me.
Ben, where are you?
Ben, where are you? I must ring my my beloved.
We gotta get some suit coats
Right.
and a top hat.
Where's
Maybe a
my
monocle.
where's my tobacco pipe?
Right.
But yeah. So, anyways, as you're saying,
So they're able to. Oh man, what does happen after that point?
he ends up. So he calls his lady friend and he's like, "Buy me a ticket. I'll pay you back whenever I can." And she's like, "Yeah, sure. What's going on?" And he's like, "It's too much. I'll tell you all about it later.
Right.
I'm in big trouble." And she's like,
At first, I thought the car pulling up next to the booth was like
"Yeah,
the FBI. Again,
right.
like, just
I
here to
can't
get it back.
talk. I'm on my." And there's like beating the shit out of him. Help!
Oh man.
Yeah, but no, it was. I guess it was just somebody else waiting to use the phone.
Yeah, probably. But he's able to make it. She's able to like hook up with him. And
Unwittingly.
right, unbeknownst to him, they well no, I guess that's not unbeknownst. He just decides to head towards Dr. Hume's address.
Oh, because earlier,
The
whenever
first thing he did whenever he got to the telephone booth was figure out where the fuck
Yeah.
Dr. Falcon went to after
Right.
he faked his death.
he got the an address, like a classified address from
Mhm.
the computer when he was asking it questions in like the head guy's office before he gets put into like confinement or whatever. So like
Yeah.
he has an idea of the classified location. So at this point in time, whenever he's like at the phone booth, he's like, "I need such and such's phone number at this address." And they're like, "Nothing on file." He's like, "What about this other name he goes by?" And they're like, "Nope, still nothing."
Nothing. Dead
So-
to the world.
Mm-hmm. And so he's like, "Well, I guess we just gotta like
Go and find
go
out.
there ourselves."
Yeah. So they're able to hitch a ride on a ferry to a secluded island.
Yeah.
In the middle of a lake. And lo and behold, there's a pterosaur just flying around.
Just a big ass pterodactyl.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was just a big bird, but it kind of looked like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, it's like, and the more you look
Well,
at it,
right. And so
that's
I
just a pterodactyl.
what I thought was so funny was I had jokingly said, "Oh, look, a pterodactyl," and then Dylan just goes, "Huh, yeah," and I was like,
and they wait. Is that really a
and
pterodactyl?
the more I saw it, the more I was like,
I thought you were. I thought you were just stating the obvious. I didn't think you actually.
well,
were
at first
making
I
a joke
thought,
out
well,
of it.
because like whenever it was like flying around, I was like, "That's a weird shaped bird." I was like,
Yeah.
"It actually looks like a pterodactyl,"
He's
and then
fucking big.
then I said it as a joke, and then you were like, "Huh, yeah," and I was like, "Wait,"
Second.
and then the more it happened, and I was like, "Oh,
That is just
that
a
that's
straight
just,
up pterodactyl flying around.
That's just what that is."
So as they're walking across the island to get to this guy's
By the way, it's like a motorized or like a some sort of like paper
Yeah.
airplane kind of kite,
Right.
electronic thing that he has that's doing it, but it's shaped like a pterodactyl. So
right,
just that we get that
Almost.
straight, that we're not in the realm of fiction here,
of course.
firmly cemented in reality.
No, that was straight up a real pterodactyl. Pterodactyls are real.
Yeah.
So it almost crashes into them, and then Dr. Falcon looks up and is like, "Hello,
Yeah.
I'm dead. Did you know that?" And it's like, yeah, we've been looking for you, asshole. Your fucking son, the computer, is wreaking havoc over at NORAD. Can you come handle up on it?
Right.
It's like, oh no.
Mm.
Why not?
I don't want to get involved.
Yeah, I gave up, bro. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you're gonna be like mega done if you
You're going to be well done if you catch my drift.
So is everybody else.
Damn.
Burned to a crisp and or non-existent.
Yep.
And man, he's just done with it.
Yeah.
Like the most nihilistic responses I can think of.
He has gone off the grid and is just focusing on like learning about dinosaurs.
Secluded old man.
Yeah. In his defense, he did also lose like his wife and son, which is kind of like has led him to this life of like,
right,
you know, stuff that he's doing.
I like dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs.
So yeah, he gives them the whole spiel. It's like, I'm done with it, not going anywhere. Good luck. So of course they leave and try to find their own way to get back. Can't find a boat.
Right.
In the middle of this island.
Existential crisis about not having learned how to swim, and now he's scared he's going to die.
Yeah, that fucking line is, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I really wanted to learn how to swim.
The funny thing was...
I swear to God I did.
The funny thing is, like, it really feels like that breakdown moment where, like, logically it probably doesn't make the most sense, but
something
it's just...
as comparatively mundane as learning how to swim.
Yeah, it's faced with the inevitability of like
we're all about to die.
Yeah, we're all about to die. Whenever something so simple as like, I actually never learned how to swim. I actually really want to learn how to swim.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like you just like those little things, you kind of start to have a panic attack about.
The three stooges of the human mind: the shouldas, couldas, and the wouldas.
And the wouldas.
Yeah.
My name's Coulda.
I'm woulda.
And I'm shoulda. I love how we both.
Well, of course, shoulda's gonna be fucking curly.
Hey, shut up, shoulda. It's gonna be curly.
Yeah. Love that.
Oh man, that's so funny.
But yeah, the more you think about that stuff, the deeper down you go.
Oh yeah, like I said,
spiral.
especially whenever you're already kind of thinking about the worst and you're regretting not having lived life to the fullest. Yeah. And I think you're also 17 years old, so I mean, there's a lot of life.
Your whole life ahead of you.
Your whole life ahead of you. So, anyways, he has a kind of an existential breakdown, and then of course his
Jennifer.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say was at one point in time his parents jokingly said we're going to be making barbecue. His mom was like, we're going to be making barbecue if you want to ask your little friend to stay. And then at one point in time, he tries to like
ask your little friend.
She has like our feet propped up, and she moves them so he could pass. But then she like puts one in front of him and like blocks him with the other one, and kind of like it's like flirting around, like kind of has him captured in between her legs in a way.
Right.
And then she's like, little friend. And it's funny. It's really like I like the banter between them. But anyway, so they have this kind of like flirty friendship going on, and at this point in time, like she gives him a kiss on the cheek and is like, "Hey, like
it's gonna be all right.
We're gonna try and make it through this, I guess, as best we can."
Yeah.
So it's a little touching moment, but
then suddenly.
Helicopter. I love.
Whenever the subtitles popped up, it just says helicopter.
Yeah.
Not helicopter noise or rotor. It says helicopter.
Brackets. Helicopter. Brackets.
Like we aren't gonna know what that thing is.
Wow. No shit.
I can't believe it. And of course, this answers the question of what kind of asshole doesn't have a boat on a secluded island.
Because
the kind of asshole that can afford a helicopter.
The kind of asshole that also has a helicopter.
Right. That'd be Chase.
Oh, 100%. Bro, why don't you have these simple amenities? I don't know.
I want advanced amenities.
Yeah. He only has.
You know who I fucking am?
He only has the most expensive amenities.
Right. I made a predictive war simulation computer.
Right.
I deserve advanced amenities.
I'm sorry that I don't just simply take a ferry to get off my home.
Which you thought I just went back and forth with a fucking canoe?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You think I'm that much of a normal person?
Get in my helicopter, you peasants.
No, really. Get in here.
Right. So, of course, he has a change of heart.
Right.
And he fucking speeds.
Oh, yeah.
To NORAD as soon as humanly possible. And they get one of the security guards to grab a Jeep and just ferry them over to the entrance.
Dude.
Very violently.
I say,
kudos to that dude.
Some of the best practical effects in this movie that I saw was whenever, and I'm pretty sure they spent probably a good deal of the budget on this one shot, and I don't blame them because it looked beautiful and it looked real.
Oh yeah.
They have a Jeep and they plow the Jeep into the fence gate that has been blocked into NORAD.
Yeah.
In the process, they have this like really good like helicopter shot of it happening, and it hits the gate so hard, and it fully wraps around the front of the car and stays fixed to it
like it's a cobweb.
As it then proceeds to because I think it's caught underneath the passenger tire in the front. It
starts
pulls
to veer it off course.
It pulls the car hard right, and then it smashes into one of like the like metal barricades, like the little like side rails, bounces off of that, and then like hits a whole bunch of shit and like
topples over a bit.
And dude, I'm like, wow, impressive. You fully committed to just trashing that Jeep, and it looked cool.
As far as that driver was concerned, the fucking country was on the world was at stake. Drive really, like your life depends on it, really, because it fucking does.
And I don't think it doesn't take us out of the situation too much, because like the next shot is like the very same Jeep on its side, kind of where it should be. Yeah. And everyone's just like fumbling out of the vehicle, like, we gotta run. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? Hey,
book it, go.
I believe it. Yeah. It all looked very believable.
High stakes
environment.
Oh, man.
And so basically, to kind of round out this
we have been slowly working down the DEF CON stages.
Oh yeah. We're at this point, we're rocking on DEF CON. I think we skipped 2 in this film.
No. Oh no, we got to 2.
I thought for a second we went straight from
that was as they were.
I thought it went straight from 3 to 1. That's all I thought. So,
so they get in there, just barely before the gate locks.
Basically, this entire time, anything that they've been seeing on the screen, and it's been reinforced through a couple of scenes in the film.
Right.
Anything that's on the screen is not really what's represented in real life.
Right. It's just the scenario that Josh was running.
Right. There's one scene in particular where they scramble a couple of fighter jets to go fly over this area over Alaska, and there's nothing there.
I would say, and like it's a perfect, like almost 1-to-1. You remember that scene from Patlabor 2?
Yeah.
Or no, it was the original Patlabor.
Yeah. Oh, he's frozen. Compute.
I'm getting them mixed up.
Compute.
It was the second film.
Okay.
Where there is a situation exactly like this that happens, where they scramble some jets to figure out who the fuck's in their airspace.
Right.
And whenever they get like right on top of the indicators, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It was all a fluke. Just a little fake out.
Yeah.
A gotcha. But same shit's going on in here. He's throwing out all sorts of diversionary tactics, like fake launches, a fleet. An absolute fleet of submarines,
right?
Surrounding the continent.
They can't quite get reads on.
Yeah, no way to confirm.
I love the voice actor for the fighter jet, because he felt and sounded like a real fighter jet pilot. Yeah. He just came across as like, we're dealing with clear skies up here. This is Foxtrot. This is Delta Foxtrot to Brass Hat. There is nothing up here but clear skies.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you should be right on top of him. And he's like,
nothing but the long blue, sir.
Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Right.
Delta Fox, the Brass Hat.
Yeah. So, of course, everybody's running around with like chickens with their heads cut off. And, man, as soon as the kids and Dr. Falcon show up,
it's all a fluke.
Right. I love, like, he talks him down in the perfect way.
Right.
Like, holy shit.
Intelligent guy.
Yeah. Knows exactly what's going on and is able to diffuse the situation perfectly.
Right.
So he
talks him really into like he logics his way into understanding, like if they know that we have the capability to also fight them as well.
Are you prepared to destroy the enemy? It's like,
right.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah.
It's like, does the enemy know this? It's like we've given them enough reason to think so. It's like, then don't.
Yeah. Why would they do it?
Right.
Why would they
Completely
launch?
unprovoked.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
But yeah.
So after that, of course, everybody's still on edge, but Berenger decides to believe him.
Yeah.
And so he calls up whoever the missiles are going to strike first.
Yes.
Each representative of that launch station is able to get on the line.
Yeah.
And he gives him the the rundown of the situation. Is like, I'm going to stay on the line with you, and if I don't hear from you after these missiles hit, then sorry.
Yeah, for real.
Right. So, of course, the display, holy shit, this fucking display, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
The missiles hit, and you hear, this wonderful sound.
Yeah.
Representing the impact. And it just goes off, down the entire country. And everybody's like...
Are you there?
And, of course, they respond, and everything's fine.
Yeah. And I love how everyone starts to celebrate. They're like, ah, hell yeah.
Of all the things to celebrate over, this would be one of them.
Yes.
We've managed to avoid complete annihilation.
All of it's fake.
Right. The definition of a close call.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Prime fake out, dude. Where's Ashton Kutcher? Because y'all motherfuckers just got punked.
Right. Double fake out.
Right.
The computer's back online, though, and it's trying to get access codes to one of the nukes to actually finish out the war.
Yeah.
Everyone's like...
Joshua wants to win, and he's going to do it by any means necessary.
Damn.
So they decide to give him a little lesson as far as this type of game is concerned. So they bring up tic-tac-toe because none of the other games are able to start up.
Right.
And of course, he's still pumping in every possible combination code imaginable to narrow it down to find the actual launch code. So they're on a time limit. So they just start up a game of tic-tac-toe. Well, it's a one-on-one at first, but then they decide to let him play against himself.
Right.
So that he can learn that if you play it this way...
strategically.
There is no way to win.
Yeah.
Now, it's down to the wire. He takes his time. Really takes a minute to get that drilled in there.
Right.
But it's just going through every possible scenario.
Yeah.
Who fires first?
Yeah.
Where do we fire?
And then, what he's talking about is at a certain point, it uses the tic-tac-toe logic of we're trying to...
It applies it to actual war strategies that it has on lock.
Global thermonuclear warfare. And then it's so if this person starts and then we all start firing, we all die.
The end result's going to be the same each and every time.
Each and every time. We're all just going to start firing and we're all going to die. It's well, okay.
Mutually assured destruction.
Right.
Can't have that.
A real Fallout moment.
Right.
Somebody struck first. Everyone thought it was China.
Right.
But then they all... That's kind of... Do you know that about Fallout? The whole lore of it?
I remember that sequence, that little rundown. But yeah, I don't remember.
Supposedly they thought that China was the one that struck first with the nuclear warheads, and then they started
going back and
forth, and just obliterating everything until there's nothing left. But supposedly, Vault-Tec had a hand in potentially nuking America to then provoke them to start the war first, to then help better reinforce the vault systems and making them actually...
Wow, that's fucking shitty.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, there's whenever you start to really look into the Vault-Tec stuff and how they used to experiment on people, and it was a bunch of scientists were doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
there was a lot of incentive to study people and really get the most out of the vault system and stuff.
Let's just turn the world into a rat maze.
Yeah. So it was really the deeper you go down into the lore of it, you're like, man, this is actually really messed up.
Yeah.
So anyways,
on that front of nuclear deterrence, I have something I want to show you.
Okay.
After we're finished with this, but
yeah.
Once Joshua has learned that lesson. He's like, man, this shit's fucking whack, yo. I
you
can't
know what?
win.
I don't think anybody can win.
Right. Tic-tac-toe's fucking shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, crisis averted.
Yeah.
Thanks to tic-tac-toe.
Exactly. Who'd have thought?
Right. But, yeah.
I liked this film.
It's
it was fun.
one.
It was a little lighthearted. It was a little bit of a thriller.
Yeah.
Sci-fi adjacent. It was kind of fun. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of good dialogue in the film.
Very nice indeed. What would you rate it, do you think?
On a scale of 1 to 5 warheads, I'd give it a 4.
Yeah. I think the 3 words I would use to describe this film would be global thermonuclear war.
Oh, man. What would I... Oh, dude.
Learn to swim. That's another one.
Yeah, learn to swim. That is a good one.
Shit, that might be the episode title.
Learn to swim?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I was going to say Goodwin Lightman. That feels adequate. So now that we kind of are at the end of this episode, a lot of times we have a little... I don't want to say a lot of times. We have been known to, after the episode's over, we do like a little... We get off the rails a little bit.
A funny roundabout way for you to listen to the podcast.
Right. Listen to the very end, because that's where the juicy bit is, at the very end. That's the best. We save the best for last.
We can come up with.
I just want to share something that happened over the course of the 4th of July. We had a real fun time. We had a lot of friends out. We made some burgers. We had some great stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
Dylan had pre-ordered
the new
Final Fantasy 16, is that
yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
But his special edition copy hadn't come in yet.
It had been delayed.
You're right.
A full week
but for
after
those
the game came out.
But for those of you who may or may not know, that you could download like basically the first chapter of the game as a demo, and it would save your progress, so that whenever you get the game, you could then like pick back up.
Save it right over.
And that's like, for me, that's really cool incentivization for me. I was like, that's actually
that would make me download demos for games I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, 100%. So anyways, we have probably talked about him before. Maybe we haven't. I would love to get him on the show at some point. He's a friend of ours named Myron.
Myron Jonestar.
He has a voice of gold. He's a really genuine guy. A lot of fun to hang out with.
Have him recount you a tale with his dulcet tones.
Have him recount you a tale indeed. So, anyways, we're all. It's the end of the night. We've all had our fill of some food, maybe some drinks. Right. Had our fun. And Dylan decides to pick up on the demo. Yeah. So we're all chilling out there. I'm pretty sure it's Ethan. It's myself. It's Dylan. John, for those of you who are longtime listeners of the show, John was there.
Right.
Myron was there. And to kind of
bring it around town.
To kind of summarize this, there's like this young boy, and he's like the what you would consider like the heir to be. So obviously, like his knights and all his people are like.
He's inherited the power of the Phoenix.
Right. He's like, oh, my liege, what can I get for you?
Young lord.
Yeah. And of course, he kind of talks like this.
Right.
But
just a wee lad.
Right. Probably 8 years old, to be honest, or 10. And man, I laughed so hard because Myron comes out of nowhere. and he's like, we start this match, or we start this like this part of the game or whatever,
right,
and his servants, knights, whatever you want to call them, are like, is there anything I can get for you?
Right. And the castle is currently under siege, and they're trying to escort him out.
Right. And then Myron claps back with,
I need 1,000 gold and 2 bad bitches. Just off the cuff.
He's off the cuff. I need 1,000 gold and 2 bad bitches. And I was like,
it was gold.
Was it you that responded with the next phrase?
Yeah. I need a bad bitch and a worse bitch. Like, Jesus Christ. It was so good.
I laughed so hard. I was like, damn, I've never heard someone say, I need me a bad bitch and a worse bitch. I was like, that's so, that's bad.
It's bad.
But
It's
anyway,
funny, though.
it's so funny because I was like, I
God
can just imagine
damn.
this little 10-year-old boy going, give me 1,000 gold and 2 bad bitches.
Right.
Anyways,
Lest we forget, he's fucking like,
I was cracking up real
was
hard.
so
There was,
fun,
and
dude.
then
we gotta get that motherfucker back over here.
there's also this like sequence where there's a bunch of like these knights and these like sick ass armor pieces and stuff, and then there's like the captain of the armor or the captain of the knights or whatever.
Right. Already looks pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty
they all
cool.
look pretty strapped, especially like compared to like your character who's like wearing like mostly clothes and no helmet or whatever.
Right.
So it's like in comparison, you're like, yeah, those guys look pretty bad.
So we beat them.
Oh yeah, we beat them good.
Bad.
Not too bad.
But then the camera pans up to the very tippy top of this tower,
Coming from
where
downtown.
a fucking dragoon is just balancing on one foot.
I've never.
It was the hypest fucking intro I could have ever asked for.
There's like it's like we're already getting hyped because like Dylan's like kicking their ass. So we're like, ooh,
shit's
ooh.
about to go down.
And then they end up like fighting all of them, killing all the knights and stuff. We're like, yeah. And then it pans over, and then we're like, oh my god! And then just this
it was
even,
so fucking cool.
This even more badass knight comes falling down from the heavens.
The coolest and the strongest.
Yeah, even better. Just when you thought that you had the hottest shit, there's more, son.
There's more.
Anyway, so it was a fun time, and I enjoyed that little moment, and I don't think I'll ever forget. I will want to involve that phrase into my dialogue more often. What can I get? What is my goals? Is to have 1,000 gold and 2 bad bitches.
Damn straight.
So, anyways, that was a lot of fun. So
amazing.
But yeah,
core memories.
Yes, it was. That's what happened to us recently, and I wanted to share that. Well, I wanted to make that official because I don't want to forget that.
No, indeed.
But yeah, so one of these days I'd like to get Myron out here, and we gotta watch something good with him.
Yeah, we gotta go over there sometime too.
You're right.
I still gotta show you his setup, dude.
Yeah,
it's insane, immaculate.
He's the kind of person. He's the kind of guy who like knows this shit. We were talking about. We were joking around about Kingdom Hearts or something or whatever, and he was like, I mean, he was rolling with the punches.
He's
like,
into all the same stuff we like.
Exactly, and I'm like, where you been at, man? Where you been at?
Yeah.
Where were you when I needed you most?
Right.
So,
amazing.
but anyways, yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on? I know we've been playing Risk of Rain 2.
Oh god,
you convinced me to play that game.
I'm getting you set up with those fucking mods.
I need to. I was gonna ask
bro.
afterwards because I want to.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
it's a really cool game. It's more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, me too. I've been sleeping on that.
Yeah, for real. We both were.
Yeah.
And may I say, for those of you who don't know, there's this website called SteamGrid DB, which is like database where you can like get a bunch of like custom artwork and logos and stuff for games.
Right.
For Steam, to where you can like customize them and make like your whole like library look a certain way, have a certain aesthetic. And there's a little humor one for Risk of Rain 2
called Chance of Precipitation 2.
And the funny thing is that I didn't know about that until like I walked into Dylan's room and he was about to launch the game.
And he saw it.
And I was like, bruh,
busted out laughing.
Chance of Precipitation? You gotta be kidding me. And he was like, yep.
The only other like funny game title I found for that was for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And it's just called Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. That has stuck on there for me.
Wasn't there another one that was oh shit, I can't remember what it was. It was Mass Effect. They took the M off and it just says Ass Effect.
Oh god, yeah.
That's a good one too. I like that one. Anyways, so
always good.
I love that. That's a lot of fun. But I usually go on there and download a bunch of images for like the backdrops and logos and stuff. So I got a pretty cool one I'm looking at right now of
the Commando.
Little purple vibe going around.
Yeah, a bunch of items of the Luna variety.
Well, all right.
Lunar items.
Oh God, dude. All my homies hate lunar items. I'm just reminded of last night. You were playing as like a very long range sniper character.
I got a lunar item that replaced my secondary ability, which is the zoom function for my fucking railgun that does a shit ton of damage.
Yep.
It's like part of my bread and butter.
Yep.
And it replaces this with this fucking
this little bitty void, this little void bomb.
Fucking void bomb that sucks ass.
It was a
because
little,
it has to be close.
It was like
everything has to be close to me now because I can't use the main function of this character.
It really was the exact opposite of what you needed.
It was so fucking bad.
It was like not a lot of damage. It was a close range, little like hovered void bomb thing, and I was
still
like,
applied a debuff, which was nice, but god damn.
But when you the risk outweighing the reward,
no,
like you had the scope removed off of your sniper rifle, which is like
just completely counterintuitive to my playstyle.
And then of course in a last ditch effort, you just try your hardest to just like sacrifice all your items.
I tried to get rid of it, and it's fucking stuck to me. I can't get rid of it.
Right. And then at that point, you had almost sacrificed all your actual good items.
4 things left.
Yeah, but you had like 500 ukuleles,
though. 5 ukuleles that I sacrificed to try to get rid of this thing.
What does the ukulele do?
It gives your main, like your primary attack, a chance to cause a lightning strike that arcs between enemies. It's really cool.
That actually is pretty cool.
Yeah, but it was fucking torture, dude. I could not stand that run. I still had fun, but holy shit.
Right.
It was a difficulty modifier I was not expecting to just put on myself.
Right. Like halfway through the run, too.
Now that I know what it is, I know to either avoid it or just give myself a harder time if I want to.
Right. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
For those of you looking to reach out to us or trying to find all the other platforms and stuff to reach out to us or figure out where we're at, we have a link tree. linktr.ee/Ian Wolf. And you can find all of our stuff there, reach out to us and all that good stuff. But anyways, until next week, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.